This podcast is brought to you by Fandom Spotlight. Check us out at fandomspotlight.com. Have fun and follow your fandom.
Anime, we have your attention, please, and welcome to another segment with Dragon Ball for Life, where you come for the Dragon Balls, but you stay for the culture. Double entendre, don't ask me how. As always, we are your hosts, the Fusion Dance Dons, aka the deadliest backcourt in the podcasting game. I am Bro Jeter himself, the prince of all sayings, Mr. Matthew Porter, here with my esteemed colleague, the oob to my Majin Buu, saying A. Smith himself, Mr. Troll Told Trav. Talk to the people, Trav.
Oh man, it's funny that you called me saying A. Smith, because on today's segment, I got some beef with the Universe 7 Tournament Power roster. Now, a lot of the reason has to do with Supreme Kai and his terrible job of handling Universe 7. But that's another video for y'all, so we won't get too much into that. But
is he the Chip Kelly of Universe 7?
I don't even know if we want to go that far, because at least Chip had one good season, right?
Facts. It wasn't Chip. It was the Smoothies.
Right. So, but he then dismantled everything afterwards. But we're not here for Eagle Takes. We're here for Dragon Ball. Okay.
The range.
So, Mr. Porter and I, we wanted to come up with our own Universe 7 roster. Now, but before we do... The roster. And, there's going to be some overlaps, but there's probably going to be some different players that we have on here, or fighters, should we say. And to just refresh everybody, the Universe 7 roster in Dragon Ball Super was Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, Krillin, Master Roshi, Tien, Androids 18 and 17, and Frieza. So, before we get into it, I'm sure that we can probably assume that we both have the big three of Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta, right? Now,
absolutely. The Saiyans definitely coming in strong for sure.
I thought that, we were going to have a fourth, but apparently not. Apparently the guy that I had fourth is not on your list. So
we deviate a bit. So who did you have for your fourth?
I had Gohan's father, Piccolo. I mean,
Gohan's true dad.
we just did a whole segment on him, so I thought he was going to make your roster. So
big facts. So I did deviate with my fourth pick in the draft.
Okay.
I did not pick Gohan's pappy. I did pick Gohan Pepe's golf buddy, Android 17.
Okay.
And if we've seen the Tournament of Power, he ended up kind of being the MVP of the whole motherfucker.
And you know what was crazy about Android 17? And obviously it's just Toriyama just writing himself into, another hole, or just pulling another rabbit out of the hat, But the fact that Android 17 could go blow with Goku at Super Saiyan Blue, when all he's been doing has just been fighting off park rangers all these years. But that's just
have you ever tried to catch a wild chicken, bro?
I didn't know fighting off boars got you to Super Saiyan God status.
Look,
my brother.
That's what it do. That's what it do.
I did have Android 17 on my list as well, so we can definitely.
Was he in your starting five?
I haven't come up with my starting five just yet. So I think after we go over our list, we might be able to figure out who we want to put in our starting fives, or if we can, come to an agreement on who we think should be in the 10. So let's continue. Absolutely. So who's another player on your roster, Mr. Porter?
Yeah, absolutely. So the ones that, like we said, that we kept is obviously, and I feel like you said, there's gonna be some overlap across the board. Maybe like your front five or your front six are probably going to be the same.
Right. So we definitely both have Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, and Android 17 so far.
Correct. Another one that I picked as definitely can stay on the team was Frieza. As much as
I actually didn't have him on there.
I hate how... Oh, you didn't put him on your list?
I actually didn't have Frieza on my list.
Oh, shit. Look at that.
I did not have content on the list.
I did have Frieza on there in all his golden glory.
Okay.
He did put in work. He did get a little cocky, but that's Frieza.
Okay.
I do like the dynamic of having a villain return. I do feel like Toriyama shits on Cell. But, we don't know what Shell's been doing in the HFIO this whole time. He might just be eating, little Debbie cakes. He might not have it no more. You don't know. Because who's he down there with now? The Ginyu Force? They not sparring partners.
Nah, he's just staying stagnant. He's just remaining perfect down in hell.
Exactly.
So
resting on his laurels. Get it together, bro.
But if we're gonna stay on the villain route, I did have a villain on my roster.
Go ahead.
And this also goes to how terrible of a job the Supreme Kai does. But I had Moro on my list.
I did too.
Because I think that his magical abilities would be very, very helpful. And also too, like, he's just gonna take energy from a bunch of other fighters and then just get super strong. And I know there's that element of like, oh, he might turn his back on Universe 7. I don't think with Beerus and Whis right there to
snap my man out of existence.
And plus, they would probably tell him that, oh, if you help us out, we'll free you from the Galactic Patrol. And Goku and Vegeta's dumbasses will be like, oh, well, if he gets free, we'll just defeat him and handle it in Universe 7. Blah blah blah.
They said, you try. Their age-old formula. You try,
right? Exactly.
Then I'll try. All right. Then we'll jump them.
So we have 5 in agreement.
So where our deviation did take place a bit, I actually took Piccolo off the team for Moro.
Okay.
Put Moro in. I had Piccolo as my 11th man. Somebody tearing ACL. Piccolo in the reserves.
You got Piccolo on a 10-day contract.
I got Piccolo on a 10-day coming in off the Namekian bench.
Okay. Okay.
Me? So you wanna? I guess I'll go next.
Okay.
See, all right, another replacement, and I feel like
is this a replacement or
on this one?
On your this is still your roster though, right?
So this is still my roster.
Okay.
So just for continuity, I'm saying who I put in replace of who was drafted.
Got you.
So originally on the team was Master Roshi. Mm-hmm. I kicked his old ass off, I replaced him with the Broly.
Same here, brother, man. Same here.
Like how do you not put him on your team?
And how do you have such a dormant power just chilling in Universe 7? And Supreme Kai was like, he said some line, and I don't know the exact line, but it was something like, oh, there's only
they'll tell us in the comments.
24 planets with life forms. And you couldn't have found Broly?
He was on one of them.
You couldn't have found Broly?
Yeah. And not only that, for everybody who's seen the Broly movie, of the life forms, he was one of 2 on that planet. And so it's not like he had to comb the civilization to find him on the planet. So I was like, oh, 2 folk on here.
Not at all.
What's up with you?
And even if he wanted to use Broly, he also could have picked Paragus. Like, I don't think he would have made the team, but he probably was like at least moderately like
better than Tien.
Yeah, he who knows, but. To keep on like the Saiyan route, the other person that I had on my list, in which I think should have stayed in that fucking timeline, Future Trunks.
Where you going?
Future Trunks.
I have him on my list as well.
Like, I mean, and this is another video about how much his future is fucked up and how much.
We 1000% have to get into that.
Okay, because I still got beef with the way that arc ended, but definitely Future Trunks. Okay,
gotcha. So I'm actually rolling with you to elaborate on that, and then also give you my next pick, because I have an asterisk next to Future Trunks just based off the rules, because they were kind of loose on how they did it. So because I had Future Trunks and or Little Trunks under the implication that potentially Gotenks could be considered one member.
So that means you had Goten in there as well.
I had So I had it two ways. So if Gotenks could be a member, like just considered as one, because Kefla did use the Patara earrings, and they was just like, oh, we'll let you get it off. Mm-hmm. And what was the tournament about? Was 48 minutes?
Yeah, like 48 minutes.
And then Fusion only asked 30. So if they let you slide, if they unfused and didn't trip, then I did pick Gotenks, the character.
Okay.
But if they were going to bitch about when they unfused, and now Universe 7 has 11 players on the field, as opposed to Future Trunks, I picked Little Trunks, and then I replaced Tien with Goten, so that they confuse.
Got you. Okay. So I was going back and forth on Goten and Trunks, and I actually left both of them off the list because, I'll put them in as alternates, but I just thought that their inexperience in battle and the stakes were just way too high. Like, I feel like they would need a lot of supervision that Goku and Vegeta weren't going to give them. Gohan would have to watch over Goten and just make sure that they just stay focused. Obviously, they would be treating it like it was a play date, which would be fine because they're stronger than a lot of people, but they would be treating it like a play date. And then I think the second, when shit really gets serious and they saw the first universe eliminated and wiped out, I think that would spook them out, and they wouldn't really realize the stakes of it,
Gotcha.
But
you had me curious now. So that's you left Goten and Trunks off. So I would like to hear who were your two as opposed to them, because you said they were alternates.
Okay, so I actually, for the most part, didn't have too many deviations from the original roster because I kept Krillin and I kept Android 18 and I kept Android 17.
I kept 18 as well.
Because I think Android 18's chemistry that she has with 17 and with Krillin and
top notch.
Krillin, he might not be the strongest, but he is a very smart fighter. And to the whole experience point, that's why I put him over Goten and Trunks, because even though he knows his limits, he knows that, I'm not gonna go up and fight Jiren. I know I'm gonna get my ass smoked, but I'm gonna go fight over these weaklings in Universe 9 and
I'm gonna go fight the bat guy.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna fuck him up a little bit. I'm gonna do a solar flare. I'm gonna throw a Destructo Disc to fuck up the bottom of the ring, Like, come on.
Krillin, in my opinion, he's the best user of the solar flare. I feel like he uses it how it's supposed to be used.
100%.
Like when Goku pulls it out, it's unnecessary as fuck. When Tien does it, it's like, Who else? I feel like, has Gohan used solar flare before? I feel like he might have.
Probably.
Like when he was a young bull, I feel like he might have. But no, Krillin actually accurately uses the solar flare. But no, I'm not mad at that. But I did keep Android 18 as well.
Okay.
So I think that was 10.
Yeah. So
I'll read mine and then you could read yours.
Okay. Okay.
So,
and then I think at the end we should come to an agreement on who should be the final 10. Because even though we embrace debate, at the same time our universe is on the line, so we got to make
Facts,
sure we gotta
one band, one sound.
Okay.
One band, one
All
sound.
right, let's do it.
So my 10 I have is, so my front 5 I have is Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, Android 17, Gohan.
Okay.
That's my front 5.
Okay.
And then my back 5 I have Morrow, 18, Future Trunks, Broly, and then like I said, if they trip about 11 people, I would replace Future Trunks with Little Trunks, and then Goten would be my 10th man. I guess I kind of would need a 10th man if Goten could be its own person.
Okay. All right.
All right, well, you get your list. I'll think of who my last person would be under those pretenses.
So I think my starting 5 is gonna be interesting for you, because it's obviously gonna be the big 3, and then one person who you didn't have on your list, and then another person who we both have on our list, but you had him in your back end. I got him in my starting 5. So my starting 5 would be Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, and Moro. I just think that Moro's magical abilities would just put them on a different level. I think that once he was able to suck enough energy out of a lot of fighters, I think my man would be a problem. And there's just so many unique techniques he has that we didn't see in the Tournament of Power, and it's more than just brute force.
Facts.
And I just think that Piccolo's knowledge, Piccolo's battle experience, his familiarity with Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan, I think puts him in the starting 5, which then leaves Future Trunks, Broly, Krillin, Android 17 and 18, which would be hilarious that Future Trunks has to link up with the people that ruined his life.
I mean, him and current line 18 pieced it up.
Right.
Like they was like,
he's like, we good.
Like we should be straight.
So
all right, bet.
So it sounds like if we're going from our list, it sounds like Piccolo is the only person that is different from my list and your list, because you have Frieza on there and I didn't have Frieza on mine.
Yeah, that does seem to just be the different one. Pretty much everything's the same.
So how do we come to our final 10?
All right, so let's start with our starting 5.
Okay.
Then we'll work with. So Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, we know for a fact.
Right.
Non-negotiables.
Right.
Non-negotiables. Are we saying 17 he's a non-negotiable?
Yeah, I think so. Just because of what we saw in the anime and just how the ridiculous power jump he got, you kind of have to keep him in there.
Yeah, and I'm kind of going with what you're saying. I'm kind of under the impression that Morrow is a non-negotiable too. Like knowing what he does, and we'll get into it, foreshadowing. But knowing what he does and like how he give it up, I feel like he definitely has to be on that list.
And like,
So
I
we can say-
know people will say, well, you know, he doesn't know any of these fighters and the chemistry would be off. I mean, let's be honest, they all fought their separate ways afterwards. So, you know, and you know, he might be trying to like cut some like back end deals with other universes, but just to fuck them over. So
Yeah,
you
just
know,
to-
his
suck some energy.
deceitfulness might help Universe 7 at the end of it.
1000%. And you know, when he's not fully juiced up, he does look very unassuming. But and like you said, and we'll get more into it when we start doing our chapter reviews. You know, he uses magic, which, you know, isn't a power that we regularly see in the Dragon Ball world, like the use of magic.
Facts.
Outside of, you know, the Kais who are ass cheeks.
Right. So I think what we need to do is we have to pick between Frieza and Piccolo, because
Damn, do we?
I think so, because I mean,
I don't think Krillin should make the team.
So we think we should take Krillin off, and then you know
I'm
what?
kicking Krillin out for Future Trunks. Like if we're
Future Trunks is a non-negotiable for me.
Future Trunks is a non-negotiable.
Yeah,
All right, so let's do this. Let's.
All right, how about this? We take
We
take Krillin off, and I'll put Frieza in, and that makes our list the same.
Okay.
All right.
I'm rolling.
All right.
I'm rolling because I feel like the Gotenks thing could get tricky when they run out of time.
Yeah, and I just
Like,
don't. They're just too young. I don't trust them in that.
I'm rolling.
I don't trust them when the lights come on. You know what I'm saying?
I could see the Angels being also 11 players on the field. Too many players on ice. Too many players.
And don't forget, in the Future Trunks Goku Black arc, when Vegeta Blue used up too much power, it shortened the fusion. So there could be a risk of like Gotenks all of a sudden using too much power, and then they separate, and then boom, like you said, that could lead to
kick somebody out. Like, all right,
gotta know the
exactly.
rules.
Now, I'm rolling. So I'll take Trunks and Goten off my list and rolling. So where we at? What's our time looking like?
So in the 2021 to 2022 Dragon Ball for Life Tournament of Power redraft, the final roster for Universe 7 is Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, Future Trunks, Broly, Frieza, Android 17 and 18, and finally Moro. So
that's a sweet.
I think we're gonna have the same results. Universe 7 coming out victorious, and they might even have more fighters left on the playing field.
I'm saying there's at least like 4 fighters still on the board.
Hey,
with that roster.
Hey, you know what? I got a feeling Moro's gonna be like chilling in the cut somewhere, and then just wait. And then everyone's like, "Oh shit, he was actually merged with the Tournament of Power ring." So,
yo, for real shit.
Like he
gonna make more. He gonna make more time. He gonna make the cylinder go back up.
Exactly.
He's like, 10 more minutes.
Well,
we still cooking,
man.
We still cooking. Which try, you know, before we let the people enjoy the rest of their day, it makes me question. Like, obviously, we're lifelong Dragon Ball fans, but you know, from a character standpoint, we don't live in this world. We don't get to spend the day to day with these people. Why is it that us onlookers can produce a better list than the Supreme God?
Because my man lazy as shit. But we
will get into that.
We will get more into that later.
Send us home, good brother. Send us home so we can pay these bills.
Listen, that was the first Dragon Ball for Life redraft. More to come. I am Troll Trav, aka Saiyan A. Smith.
My guy, and I am Bro Jita, the prince of all sayings, Mr. Matthew Porter, Matty Ice, you know the vibes. And this has been Dragon Ball for Life, sponsored by the beautiful people over at Fandom Spotlight. Always and remember, follow that fandom. Bang.